video games. Welcome once again to Filthy Casuals, a podcast about video games hosted by three very kind and extremely knowledgeable boys. Thank you for joining us. My name is Tommy Dasilo, and joining me as always...
Good morning, video games, to you, Tommy. My name is Adam Knox.
Why are you doing this? No, it isn't. Don't steal my identity.
Classic Adam.
And I turned up late.
No, I didn't. I was here at exactly the same time as you.
What do you... I don't know why you're responding to the things I did, Ben, but...
I'm Adam.
Adam, describe the size and appearance of your penis.
Oh, it's very, very small.
I'm the real Adam. Shoot him.
Very, very small, shriveled, sort of like knotted as well, like a little tree stump.
Maybe this is me.
Imagine this being the first episode you've ever listened to of this and just being like, what's going on? Why are they laughing at that guy just saying who he is? Asking him weird questions about his dick.
No, the charade is, I can't hold it up any longer. My name's Ben Vanel. Mm-hmm. Over there is Adam, the
That's
real
me.
Adam.
Old stump dick. I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right.
This has really thrown him, hasn't it?
I had a headache coming into this as well, and now I've got two bloody headaches.
You were going to say 3.
Well, I was, because I was going to rope you both in, but I realised Tommy hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
He's just asked me quite politely about my penis.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just interested to know. I've never, you and I have never had, we haven't had the talk yet about whether or not we're official.
I don't know.
So what are your penis like?
Are you like touching other penises, or are we like, is this the only penis going on here?
We should plug the live show.
No, we shouldn't.
Oh yeah, it's sold out.
Yeah.
But for any of you, what do we want to call these people? Latecomers.
Ah, yes.
People who've missed out. We will try and squeeze some of you in on the door if we can.
Yeah.
I wish we weren't doing that because it feels like we're rewarding pretty poor behaviour.
Well, and it's cramming room as well, so like it won't be pleasant.
It's no reward. Just have to stand up the back
With the drummer from Spiderbait. Yes.
Yes.
But like it's fine. We'll try and get people in, but if you come down and you can't, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be a bit of room up the back, and also typically a lot of you can bank on between 5 and 10 people who've bought tickets just not showing up.
Yes,
true.
that is true.
And you know what that is, boys? Free money. Nothing sweeter than that.
Double
cool
selling a seat.
It's so good. Mm-hmm. It's really good.
I don't think I've ever done it. Like bought a ticket to something and then not. Oh, actually once in Edinburgh.
Oh.
Because, not because of me, but because the person I was with got sick and we were like, oh, okay, well, we won't go see the show.
Right.
That we bought tickets to.
I mean, yeah, I don't think I've ever done it for a live thing. I've certainly booked myself a ticket for a movie and been like, I'm not going out tonight.
Why? That's crazy.
Just couldn't be bothered.
What was the lead time on booking the ticket versus then not going?
I probably booked it on a whim, like during work, got home and was like, I'm going to just go to bed probably.
But that's the idea of doing anything on a whim like that involves a purchase.
Yes.
Other than almost everything that I own.
But I would argue that going to a movie in the first place is always going to be on a whim.
Yeah,
deciding just like, I might go to the movies tonight. It's never like a calculated effort that takes months and months of planning to set up. It's not backpacking around Europe.
And it's one of those things that if you fuck it, it's fine. Because like I remember going at some movie and it was all sold out, which had like never happened before. It was like Avengers or something, I think.
Right.
We're like, oh, okay, we'll just see another movie. Great thing about cinemas is there's multiple screens.
Yes.
Not all of them though.
The
At the Astor Theatre, famously only one screen.
Yeah.
Don't go to the Astor then.
Yeah.
Or do.
Sure, you have multiple
fine.
options. Yeah.
I think it's about to close down. But they've been saying that for like 10 years or something.
I feel like that's literally been happening the whole time I've been away.
It's like a rug store. It's constantly closing down.
It's like a salesman who only sells things to like the lighter feathers of birds. And he always be closing on the down. Really didn't make sense, and I knew it wouldn't. And I knew it wouldn't. But people always go like, he bows out of a joke halfway through.
Yes?
I'm never doing it again.
Wow.
I'm committing all the way through. I'll always be closing down.
I'd honestly,
Duck down.
I'd like to hear what that guy would sound like.
He would sound like this. I got brass balls and a shit job. I don't know why I sell this to ducks. Because you know what? They're not particularly cashed up.
Sure.
This is my Alec Baldwin.
They come with their... Oh, okay. I thought it was Kevin Spacey.
No. It's Baldwin.
Right.
that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
But
Spacey's in it too, though.
Yeah, he is.
He's the little slimy guy. And in the movie... Yes.
Yeah, that's it, Spacey.
Yeah.
The final nail in the coffin for you, my friend. What were you going to say about the Dramana Drive-In? My little ears pricked up at the mention of that.
I was just going to say the name.
Okay.
Well, because
Okay.
it used to be called the Dramana Twin Drive-In.
It did,
But
yes.
they put another screen in, and then it became the Dramana 3 Drive-In. And that really pissed me off.
I haven't been to a drive-in in ages. We should go.
I love the drive-in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little backseat action.
Oh, yes.
Any cinema is a drive-in if you've got good insurance.
Yeah, interesting. I
And
would
a car.
Yeah,
That is
the elevation
crucial.
is pretty high in most of them, though. Like, you wouldn't be able to get... Traditionally, if they're in a shopping centre, they'll be up an escalator or something, so you wouldn't be... You'd just be crashing into, like, the car park that's underneath the cinema.
I got them like Fast and the Furious things.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What do you call them?
Hydraulics.
Hydraulics.
Yeah.
Right, so you're driving up the escalator, you're hitting the fucking NOS button, just boosting into the cinema, you come crashing through the screen in a fucking hot rod
Yeah.
that you've painted up like a watermelon.
Oh, hold on. I'm just going to go over and get something from the old candy bar over there. Drive up.
And something we've let fall by the wayside. Why are you doing this?
Drive in.
Just to prove a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah.
Out of spite. Someone's in that cinema who told you couldn't do it, and you were like, "I'll show them."
Someone in the audience who's got 3D glasses on is just like, wow, this shit's got super realistic.
Oh man, this is like something out of a Naked Gun movie. This is an awesome scenario.
Absolutely.
And then I would get out of the car and just sit in a regular seat.
You get out, close the door behind you, then you've got the beep beep, like you've got it locked, even though you're like a
Yeah.
foot away from it.
Yeah.
Get some popcorn. Eat that popcorn.
Now that's expensive.
Man, tell you what, you could. I'll pay for the damages, but I ain't paying for the large Coke.
This is a great scenario.
I don't like popcorn. I have to say.
What the fuck is
How
your
do you
problem,
not like
dickhead?
popcorn, you motherfucker?
It's I don't know. It's just I feel like shit after it.
Well, okay, so you don't like tons of
It's
popcorn.
it's
then.
actually no. I like popcorn. I hate what it does to me.
Right.
So because it's like once you start, you're just all in on the whole box.
That's how I feel about beer as well. I love beer, but I always get bloated. I feel sick and tired afterwards. It's really we got a lot in common, Tommy.
I love post mix though.
Yeah, post mix is good.
I love premix.
So that's just the syrup
Yeah.
before you put
Yeah.
the soda in it.
Yeah, just before you come, you
Opening one
Yeah.
of those sachets and jamming it
Premix.
down my throat.
Like those freaks at school who would buy like the straight Red Bull, like the
Oh, those little.
the little tiny little bottles of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
I
Yeah, syrup.
remember there was one guy who used to eat coffee with a spoon. Just like eat it out of the fucking thing. Chewing that coffee, be like, gets in quicker.
Oh,
Weirdly, that guy ended up having a bit of a drug problem.
Fuck
jeez.
me, that's one of the funniest things. Just seeing someone at the movies with a big jar of Makona, just shoveling it in. And it's his popcorn. It's like, I knew this had happened. Once I fucking break the seal, I fucking go through the whole jar in
Because
one
the problem
sitting.
is, once
Yeah.
you eat a bit, you start eating the rest a lot faster and you get through to the bottom pretty
These
quick.
idiots over here buying coffee from the candy bar. I'm bringing my own, like a smart guy.
Guys, you can support the show on Patreon and get a second episode every week where we don't strictly focus on video games. We fuck around and talk about all sorts of other topics.
Yeah.
So you can go and do that. If you want $10 a month, we do a little extra show that's called Nintendo 69.
Yes.
Which we've named after the group chat that we're in to
Yes.
organise all of this, which is named after what the original title of this show was going to be.
Yeah.
Working
yeah.
title.
Honestly, a much more unique and interesting title than what we ended up with.
Yeah, we really felt like it might limit our opportunities. But now we just
Knowing
have
the base that we play to.
Yeah, now we have, not only do we not have opportunities, we've also got a podcast that has the same name as about 8 other ones.
Yes.
Which we haven't checked in on, and we used to regularly kind of check in with what all the other filthy casuals were doing. All the alternate filthy verses out there.
Yeah.
Or the short haircut Gwen Stefani. It's Gwendolyn Christie. What's her name in the fucking sliding doors?
Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwendolyn Christie.
Yeah,
She's Brienne
that's right.
from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded like a very Adam made-up name.
Gwendolyn Christie.
Yeah.
She is my daughter. I made up that name.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, well, you know what else has a name? Just
One
speaking
of his famous segues.
Here he comes, crashing through the cinema.
Seamless.
The sequel to Hollow Knight,
Yeah.
Yes.
which got revealed like about half an hour after we put up last week's episode.
Yep.
Which we recorded right before we put it up, which
Yes.
just goes to show you, even when we try and get on top of it, there's no point. We may as well just do these 6 months out.
Yeah.
We're going to get fucked either way.
That's
Absolutely.
what we're doing the same thing tonight as well. So enjoy whatever news you've seen now.
Yes.
Also, if there's anything weird happens with not being able to download any episodes or
Oh, yeah.
anything, the next few days we're like just doing a technical changeover thing.
Yes.
So if anything strange happens, hey, your computer's haunted.
Yeah.
We've done nothing wrong.
And
Yeah.
also enjoy not hearing this because something has happened which has meant that you can't get it.
But yeah, Hollow Knight has a full-on sequel called Silk Song.
So there were rumors and stuff going around that there was going to be like a hefty kind of DLC pack or something.
I
And then
think they'd said that it was going to be DLC focusing on Hornet, who's like the sort of not antagonist, like sort of someone who helps you out a bit and you meet them and they're like a little standoffish. What's the like tropey name for that type of character? Do you know what I mean?
tropey name.
Like a not an antagonist, but like a helping antagonist.
Oh, I get sort of like a Catwoman sort of figure.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Catwoman or something like that. Anyway,
Let's speculate for another 15 minutes just to drive people insane who know what it is.
Friend or foe.
Antagonist.
It's like an antagonist.
Right. Oh, we said that already.
Yeah.
Right.
like a fantagonist. I feel weird saying that.
It does sound.
That could be edited to really put you in hot water.
It sounds like it should be bad.
It
It's
sounds
not.
like fucking someone just shot me and I'm PewDiePie.
Yes.
I'm like, you fantagonist. But yeah. So you were playing as Hornet.
Yep.
In the sequel, in like a brand new area. It
Goldie
looks
Hornet?
Fucking Goldie Hornet.
Nice.
Is who you're playing as.
Cool.
It looks great.
All new places, lots of color.
Yep.
Looks the same basically. But
It looks
with
the
new
same, but
enemies and
you
shit.
can see that, really building on a foundation of what the first one is and kind of,
Yeah.
like, as a sequel should, just kind of pushing it out subtly where you
Totally.
can go, oh, cool, yeah, they've learnt a lot and they're relishing the chance to kind of put a bit more spice in there.
And so that's what happened is that the DLC, it was meant to be DLC, and they were like, it just got really big, and we decided to make it its own game. Which is, I think, probably still going to be like $15 or whatever fucking cheap-ass price they made Hollow Knight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And
they haven't said anything about when there's no date or anything, is there?
I don't believe there is yet, but it looks pretty fucking far along in
Yeah.
that trailer, which of course you're not going to show like unfinished parts. of the game.
Wireframes.
Yeah.
I think it's about to come out.
Just sketches on a napkin.
Yeah.
Shots of people typing in an office. I mean, they're making it, but it's not
The
really.
developer like laying down to sleep and like a little thought bubble in their head, like I'm dreaming of a sequel to Hollow Knight.
But pretty cool. Kind of came out of nowhere, the
Yeah.
announcement. And I think it's going to be PC and Switch to start with.
Yes.
Because Hollow Knight fucking sold really well on the Switch. Kind of
Yeah.
gave it a whole second lease on life. So just those two and then other consoles to follow, they said.
It's crazy how much I had not really heard anything about that game until it came out on Switch, and then people started going, this is awesome.
That type of like 2D Metroid-y game it definitely fits
Yeah.
on the Switch. But yeah, so that's sick.
Yeah.
I would play absolutely another one of them.
Yeah.
I've still got to finish that first one, but
great.
it's so hard to come back to.
Right.
Because you realise when you're playing it regularly, you are just absolutely in the zone. And it'll take you a few goes, but you can get there.
Yeah.
And then after months off, you come back and you just eat shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I need to finish it, and I need to commit the time to just go, okay, this month,
Right,
it's happening.
Sure. Yeah.
It's my thing I'm focusing on.
That'll never happen, I promise you.
That's very, very fair.
But that's great. Let's have a look at a couple other little bits and pieces of news this week.
Yeah.
I heard a little rumor out of Nintendo.
Yes.
That they're gonna-
Stop squeezing his balls, Tommy.
Oh, thank God.
Sorry.
No, I heard a little birdie told me.
You don't have to repeat yourself. He still heard you.
I'm just trying to remember exactly what it was. That someone tweeted.
A cancelled game
Yeah.
on the Xbox? Was that part of
No,
it?
they haven't said.
That was like speculation. So
Okay.
it was like someone who has some connection to Nintendo was like,
It might have been Emily Rogers,
no,
maybe.
it was someone else.
Really?
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. Either way, they were
It was
like,
Gwendolyn Christie.
that sounds made up.
One of these industry whistleblowers.
Nintendo's reviving an old game that had been confirmed as being cancelled in the past.
Yeah.
And it might surprise you what it is.
So, yeah, there was a discussion in our Facebook group where a lot of people were thinking that it was old Nintendo games. And the way that it's worded, it makes me think that it's not a Nintendo franchise at all.
Right.
That's
Just
like for something people are thinking.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, it'll surprise you. And then someone's like, is it Mario Kart 9?
I did suggest it could be Mario. So, but the following rumor, the follow up was it's Scalebound. It's got to be Scalebound. And then I just was doing some reading before we started recording. The developer of Scalebound's like, it's not Scalebound.
Yeah.
What is Scalebound? I've never heard of that before.
It was the Xbox dragon fighting one.
Yes.
With like the guy who had Beats headphones or whatever.
Which had been in development for like 9 years or something,
Yeah.
and then got cancelled right at the end.
It was one of those ones because it was like that, the Crimson Sea or something. So, some other one from like a sequel to an original Xbox game. And I think like Crackdown 3 again or whatever. There was like an E3, like all of the games basically that were at whatever E3 that was for Microsoft kind of got canned afterwards, except for Crackdown 3, which has come out. And I might as well talk about that now.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Do we have any thoughts of what this cancelled thing might be, or
yeah.
this revived thing? Because you said something. You have a guess of what it is in our group that I.
Well,
if it is a Nintendo game that I agree with.
There's just like a Wikipedia article of like cancelled Nintendo games. The only one that stuck out to me on there as being like kind of possible was something called Donkey Kong Racing, which was a sequel to Diddy Kong Racing.
Right.
That they stopped making. But there was that rumor about Retro making a Star Fox racing game, which would kind of fit because they've worked on Donkey Kong. It could be crossed wires, and it was actually that. But I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's one of their bigger cancelled ones that just and it looked. They only had like a pre-rendered trailer of it that they showed it in E3, but it looked cool.
Yeah, but who knows?
Yeah,
because they've got Mario Kart, so why would they? But they had it at the time as well.
Yeah.
No idea. Genuinely, could be fucking anything.
Yeah,
and we'll find out about 6 months before it's out, probably. So, anyway.
Speaking of great games that you love,
Crackdown 3 sucks. It's so boring. I don't have heaps to say about it, so I thought I'd just kind of get it out of the way. I've played enough of it to know I don't want to play anymore. Like the quick version of the review is the main thought in my head is that life's too short while I'm playing it. Like it's just boring. It's so flat and just like it feels like a 10-year-old game.
Right.
And it's like a more than 5-year-old game. It was sort of meant to be like a launch thing for the Xbox One. Obviously, it was delayed and delayed and delayed. I haven't played the multiplayer at all. They're like two separate launches.
Right.
Like they're separate games.
Oh, yeah,
as
right.
it's kind of listed on the apps.
As in game launchers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't really jumped into the multiplayer yet, but the single player, as far as that goes, it's a fucking boring, flat old story of just like, oh, this bad company's pretty evil. They've turned off all the power in the world. All the electricity is out,
That would
except
be
for on their
annoying.
island for some fucking reason.
but did you think that maybe that's possibly a bit of a metaphor for what's going on in the real world? You know, with
shit.
kind of like big
Yeah.
corporations and the way they're kind
turning
of
off all the power.
the way they're controlling us. Does that change how you feel about it?
This is the best game I've ever played. It's fucking bad. And like Terry Crews is jammed in there as like in the like kind of opening cut. You can play as multiple different characters. He's one of them.
And that's
like,
a brand new feature to video games, right? That's Never nearly got a spit take out of Tommy there.
Very close. If I wasn't sitting directly over the recording equipment, I would have just gone for it.
But there's no point in it being Terry Crews other than like one kind of opening thing where he kind of dances around a little and does the Terry Crews shit.
Right, sure.
And then there's like fucking a few recorded things of him going like, I'm Terry Crews a few times.
We played a sound drop there. That was so.
That's me, Terry Crews.
Oh, it's Terry Crews over here.
Get out of my precinct. Brooklyn is where I'm a cop. I don't know. It's fucking boring. It's just like,
what do you do? Well, I never played the other ones.
move around in like this flat open world with nothing going on that doesn't look very good.
And what about in the game?
Oh god,
That's two this episode.
and then you shoot poorly, like just this boring kind of lock-on-y, like fucking uninteresting point and shooting at like robots and shit, and you do it again and again and again, and that's all there is. And there's markers everywhere to go and like, hey, shoot everything here, and you get another fucking tick on the list of stuff to get.
So it's an open world game, but the only missions are just shooting stuff.
Basically, and there's
Right.
like little orbs you can get to get abilities like jumping around, and yeah, you can kind of jump around, but it's just all been done before. And
I love the
Mario?
remix. I love that remix. Yeah, you can kind of jump around.
jump up, but put the game down. And there's like a car that you can drive around. You've got like this robot car, but fucking it's so much slower than just moving around.
This sounds cooler by the second. A very slow car.
Like Saints Row and
Slower than
Mercenaries. All those like 2006-ish open world games.
Right, yep.
Cruising down the street at a brisk 4 kilometers per hour in the old Lamborghini.
There's just nothing to it. All that like shooting down the buildings stuff that was like in the original pitch.
It's
All the,
very
like,
2001.
cloud computing, and it's not in there. The building's fucking
right.
static and nothing. It's just not there.
That
Great.
sucks.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be interesting even if it was, because like fucking Red Faction and shit and who cares? It's just the whole game reeks of pointlessness. It just doesn't feel particularly fun to play. It's not like fucking terrible, but how bland it is makes it utterly pointless.
Do you think if you hadn't have had the big build up of it being kind of on the boiler for so long, you'd be a bit more lenient on it?
No.
It doesn't sound great, but maybe you'd just be like, oh, whatever. This
Even
is
if
like-
it had come out like when it was meant to, day one of the Xbox One, and it was like 6 years ago or however long ago that was,
Still unimpressive.
I think it would still be, it would make like, maybe go like, oh, it's something, and I don't know, this is boring still, it'd still be
Right.
boring. There's just no motivation for me to keep playing it at all. So yeah, I don't think it's worth putting time into, let alone money.
Feels good to commit to just giving up on something. Kingdom
Oh,
Hearts, you're going up on eBay tomorrow, baby.
Oh.
Yeah, don't worry about Crackdown 3.
Okay, that sounds like a buy.
Yeah, I'm saying buy 10 copies.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And eat them. Because that's probably going to give you more satisfaction than fucking playing this game. Shitting out a shard of a disc
Oh.
will be more enjoyable. No, I don't know. It's just like, it's not even that it's fucked. It's just boring.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't quite know what more to say about it than that, because it's like, it doesn't have anything to fucking say.
Yeah,
it presents
right.
you with nothing to do or to think about or to care about. So, you know, good on them for getting it out, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, if they fucking didn't cancel this, if this is the one they're like, no, we got to get it out.
Yeah.
How bad must have the fucking Scalebound and Crimson Seas or whatever it was
Yeah.
be? So,
Well, thank you, Adam. This has been looming on the horizon for a while. I feel like you've been dreading playing this for months
Yep.
now, and
Yeah.
you did your duty to this podcast. Although you've said that it's just kind of boring and that there's not much going
just
on.
a wet
You could have
fart.
just not even gotten it and just absolutely made this up. And
Well,
we would
absolutely,
have to buy it.
and
Yeah.
I didn't buy it. I got it on Game Pass.
Oh, right, okay.
I did the little 2-month trial for $2 a Game Pass. Game Pass is pretty cool.
Okay. There's a silver lining to every cloud.
Like I'm
Cheer
like,
up, fella.
We've
Yeah.
talked a whole bunch about how like Netflix types of services for games are probably the future. I'm not
Love
personally
Netflix.
into that
Oh,
idea.
yeah. Netflix and chill. That's what I like to do.
What is
Wait,
that?
you're not into that idea?
Just I personally like to have ownership
Ah,
You know
yes,
what I mean?
okay.
That
Yep,
old
yep,
thing that he always harps on about.
But I get that I'm being an old fucking idiot about it. Like,
But hey, man, you think everything's going to crumble and you'll be left with nothing. You thought you were going to be able to shoot down those buildings
Yeah.
and Crackdown. It
Yeah.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll all be safe.
no. I want all that stuff to be like mine, so I can be buried in my sarcophagus with it.
Bring back the sarcophagus.
Yes, absolutely.
What a wild move.
Yes.
But just a regular dude going, that's it, folks. I'm bringing back the sarcophagus.
Yes.
You've got these savings. You move back with your parents. People are like, you saving to buy a house? Nah, dude. I'm saving for when I'm dead. And I'm
guess
going
I'm
to have
saving
the
for
full
the-
sarcophagus.
The ultimate house. Makes
Yeah.
being a pallbearer a lot harder, but
Kids are going to pay rent on a basement that you fucking keep it in for the rest of
Like 8
time.
cats in there.
just set up a whole bunch of like mouse traps around a cardboard box. Like, I'm in my tomb. You can't get in. It's got traps. It's haunted. And I'm inside this little fucking cardboard box running. So get out of my face.
Wow.
I remember seeing a thing at a museum that was like a totem pole thing, and the whole story was like, this is the way that these people would like honor their people in their tribe or whatever who had passed away. And you look at the like carvings in the totem pole, and it's just all these guys with like these really tiny little dicks, and it's like, god damn, like what, like roasted from beyond the grave. Like, what
What are you talking about?
do you mean?
Why were they carving guys with tiny little... They're all naked in the carving.
They're naked in the carvings,
Right.
and they've got these little penises, and
Well,
it's
they're
like,
not wearing
I don't know,
tight
man.
jeans and it's like carved a little dick out.
It's just me in the museum, just like, now let me get a good look at that bulge.
Yeah.
if someone requested... Like, when I die, I want an open casket funeral, and I want to be naked in the casket.
Yes.
And everyone has to come up and look.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And then slide me into a sarcophagus.
Oh, man. Just like fucking Jeffrey Rush's funeral.
Oh. Allegedly.
That's not a bad punishment if you get found guilty of dodgy stuff. When you die, your funeral is you're nude.
Yeah.
People just roasting your shit naked body.
I
Yeah.
meant more like that was what but that was the problem, is that he keeps, people keep flashing their dicks.
Yeah, I know.
So if you flash
got
your
it.
dead dick,
Yeah.
rigor mortis sets in.
I know what it does.
Gives you a hard boner.
You did okay.
Hard boner.
You know what gives me a hard boner?
What?
One of the games I played this week.
Wow, it's infectious.
One of the games I played this week.
Yeah.
Emphasis on one of.
Wow. How many games did you play this week?
I played 3, 2 new ones.
Uh-huh.
I'll talk about 2 of them.
Why is the other one a secret?
Because no one can know that I played NBA Live 19.
Oh, okay.
Just a normal, like, there's nothing to say about
You were
it.
very excited about the slam dunk competition.
I was.
Last weekend.
Yes.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
The guy who jumped over Shaq was fucking awesome.
Yeah, Superman, which was the winner. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was sick.
But one guy's like fucking the slam dunk basketball
Are you
trick.
talking about Game of Thrones or something?
The NBA has like an all-star game, and they do like a slam dunk competition for fun,
Right.
Basically, and everyone has to do like a fancy slam dunk.
How do you know about this?
Because I
we
was
watched
watching
it.
it. Yeah.
Oh, you're at his house. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
And this one guy got like a whole bunch of people dressed up as pilots,
Like old-timey Red Baron style pilots.
big, the big goggles and everything.
great.
standing around with
Which I wish was still a thing, by
Oh,
the way.
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
If you got on a plane at like a fucking 747
Yeah,
in London.
Huge scarf.
How there? This is your captain enumerating.
Yeah.
Launchpad McQuack.
Yeah. Beagles will be flying you to Perth today.
He has to like, I don't think they did this on planes, but crank up the front
I
of the
think
plane
that was just
before.
cars.
Just those old cars.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's little toys of chattering teeth.
So he
I
had
think you're thinking of.
he had those guys standing around all dressed up as pilots, and then a big sort of model biplane, like an old Wright Brothers style.
Great.
paper.
Like quite big. Big.
it was not massive, not the size of a plane.
No.
It was like probably I'm not,
Not
your
the
dad.
size of a plane.
no,
The size of a hang glider?
maybe
Yeah.
for a child, a toddler's hang glider.
Okay.
It looked like Amelia
Yeah.
Earhart. I want to be Amelia Earhart, but I'm 6 set.
Okay.
Sure.
Right.
And then it gets lost before Christmas. Anyway, the
Don't hide your bushel under a light or whatever the phrase is.
the whole,
I love the new committing Adam. This is
Yeah.
great.
so
Yeah.
he had all those people standing around in formation around the biplane. The biplane.
He
set up
also
in the
tried to
middle.
put on
So
a
he
scarf.
runs off for ages.
So
This
long.
just sounds like you're describing the fucking Birdman rally.
Different configurations of like wrapping a scarf around and putting goggles over the like leather hat
I called
thing.
immediately. He's got to take the goggles off. He can't see through them
Here we
properly.
But he
go.
put them on, and
Here
so
we go.
his slam dunk trick is to run up, kick the shit out of the fucking plane.
Yeah. Right.
He did not clear it even close.
Yeah. He knocked it on the way up.
Yeah.
He did the dunk, and he knocked it on the way down
Yeah.
as well.
So he's doing all of this shit in aid of landing
Jumping
a slam
over the
dunk.
plane.
yeah, I'm a
Right.
graceful man who can fly, and he
Yeah.
smashes through the
You
plane.
think a plane can fly? Watch this man
Yeah.
fly.
Yes.
And he just he tears through this plane.
And then, ironically,
Awesome.
the guy dressed as Superman does fly. He
Yeah.
flies over Shaq.
he jumped over
He
the
can leap
tallest
tall
man
Shaqs
who ever lived.
in a single bound. Yeah.
Right.
Metro Exodus C+.
Yeah, right. So so you played 2 games.
Yes.
You like one.
Yes.
What's the one that you like?
Far Cry New Dawn.
Oh no, I reckon you're going to have the opposite opinion of
Me
most
too.
people about this.
Oh, you reckon?
I think people aren't liking New Dawn. I haven't played either of them, but from what I've seen,
So I will talk about Metro Exodus the most because I played it the most.
Okay.
I like put in a good 3 evenings on this game. So it's set. It's a sequel. It's a part of the Metro franchise. It's developed by Russian developers.
is it easy to come into? Have you played either of the other two?
I've dipped into, I think, the previous one.
Right.
But yeah, it totally is. It's like, hey, you're this guy. The world ended because of nuclear war, and everyone in Russia lives in the metro. They're in the underground. That's how
Right.
they survive. It's shitty. There's factions and internal politics and mutants and all that stuff. But
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
right.
Yeah, from E3. Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically Russian Fallout.
Yeah.
And the gameplay is very similar to Fallout. But the big difference between Metro and Fallout is that Metro has really, really bad dialogue.
Right.
Really, really bad.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to... I mean, it feels like it was poorly translated from Russian.
Right. In what way is it bad? Like, what style of bad? Not like, is it like Mass Effect Andromeda bad where it's like fucking people pretending to be teens?
No. It's bad as in it's not proper grammar.
Right.
And it's like this, it's so simple. It's like video game dialogue from 25 years ago.
Huh.
So it's more like you have a bit of sort of a cold open where you're like in the middle of nowhere, it's snowing, you got to make your way
Sounds
back.
like a cold open to me. That sounds like it would be a cold open Thomas.
For the listener, Adam leant in and got right in my face on
Yeah.
that one, and I did not know how to respond. I felt very threatened. I felt very scared.
I cough for 1 second and you jump in there.
I had to fill the air.
He's unprotected. And then you get back to base and it's like, okay, we'll introduce you to all the characters in the shittiest way possible.
Oh, because
So-
it was snowing.
Nah.
Now I feel unprotected. But it's like the hard-ass colonel comes up to you and he's like, Artyom, why did you do that? You put that girl who is my daughter in danger. She is also your wife. Why did you do that? So it's
right.
literally that
Right.
kind of dialogue.
Right.
And it's throughout the whole thing, which is shitty. I hoped maybe it's like the more you get into it, the side quests are more interesting. You're not so focused on this shitty main story, but it's bad the whole way through.
That's a shame.
It's also more of a survival game than it is a fun, story-driven first-person shooter, which is not my preference.
Right, because I think I remember the first one's like low ammo count,
Yep.
managing like fuel or cold or whatever.
Totally, like you have to pump your flashlight because it runs out of battery.
Of course you do.
Talk about a cold
now,
open.
you should know better than to do what you just did.
I did follow it up with a hand motion that was very suggestive.
Yeah, and you had your pants around your ankles
Yeah.
as you were doing it.
Yeah, Jack and my little tree stump dick.
I think this bit might not even be in the game at all. You just wanted an excuse to masturbate in front of us.
I mean, that's a wild accusation from you.
All right, Jeffrey. let's move on. But so is it fair item management and stuff, or does it feel like a chore? Like, is it?
It feels like a chore. It may well be fair, but for me, it's also very difficult. So I'm playing on normal, but the enemies are really fucking hard to kill. They're everywhere. There's also like you have to constantly like wipe your visor, like manually. You have to actually hit a button to wipe snow out of your visor. You have to like keep flipping the. There's like a little thing in your, I guess, a filter in your gas mask. You constantly have to swap it out, pick up other ones as you go around.
Right.
You got to constantly pick up scrap and stuff to upgrade your weapons. Like, it is basically a tedious version of Fallout with bad writing.
Is the shooting better than Fallout, or is it?
Oh, yes, but only marginally.
Okay.
Like, not to the point where it's like, man, you put up all this other stuff because it's a really satisfying and realistic shooter. It's like, it's fine. It's okay.
Right.
It's pretty bad. Like, it's very stealth driven, which maybe I'm running around too much, but nothing about it is making me want to persist to find out what is really there that all the people who love this franchise love it for.
All the survival-y shit off the back of Resident Evil 2 makes me sound like it might be slightly more up my alley.
Potentially.
But who knows?
Like, it's just, I think you will be really annoyed with the dialogue because it's frequent. It is have a big dialogue section, talk to all the people in your camp, go and do a mission that's kind of difficult, and come back and do more shitty dialogue.
That's something that, because Anthem is out tomorrow, and we're all going to play that probably.
I've pre-ordered it. Yeah,
I've got it showing up in the post. It was only $55 on Amazon.
Wow,
pretty good.
That's very good.
That's a low amount of money in Australia.
Yeah,
but
a house costs $55 here.
The housing bubble has truly burst. The thing I'm worried about with the videos and stuff I've seen of it is that I've hated all the writing that I've seen out of that game, and it does make me just not want to play it.
Yeah.
So this might be an issue.
There are levels of satisfaction of like some of the missions are fun. Visually, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it's generally pretty well designed. All this Russian stuff is cool. It's not an environment that I've played games in before.
I find Russia fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe there is too much of a language barrier because as far as I know, it's written by Russians as well.
Could you play with Russian dialogue and English subtitles? Is that an option?
Oh, I don't know, but that actually might be good.
Yeah.
Subs, not dubs, baby.
Fuck, I should. I know that is that's my life motto.
Yeah.
Dabs, not sabs.
Pardon?
Dabs.
Now, listeners, you'll have to imagine.
There might have been a slight whoosh from the mic as he thrust
if
his
you
arm
wanted to visualize it was to my left.
Yes.
I dabbed to my left, which
not-
is the Crip side.
Nox is sitting opposite me, so he really got me a beauty there.
I think the dab is dead and long dead.
Wow.
You don't see much of the dab anymore.
I saw it once recently
Where?
at work.
Okay.
A woman dabbed at me.
Right, but you work with like 35. Anyone who's over the age of like 15 isn't with it.
Kids aren't doing it anymore.
I don't
you're
think
saying.
kids are flossing either.
Yeah, but
Their
kids
gums are terrible.
Oh, God damn it.
Kids are fickle though. That's true of anything that kids are into.
But that's what makes things trendy. Kids need to be fickle. Otherwise,
okay.
they'd just be buying the same dabs and the same flosses all over.
Interesting.
That's true.
You got to get that market to move on to the new dance craze.
Yeah, the Apex
Coming.
Legends. Oh, wow.
I mean, that one's never going out.
No,
as well.
and you know what? I hope that doesn't get adopted.
It's the
Kids
oldest
are
dance in the
fickle
world.
except for in one very specific area where they're 100% brand loyal all the way through life.
If you can find out how to monetize jacking off to a 14-year-old, you have bought yourself a mansion.
Oh.
But you can't because it's awful. That's an awful concept.
Absolutely. Don't look into it.
No.
The fuck?
Why'd you pose the question?
It's not a question. I said it was just a fact. It's an unpleasant fact about the world that the greatest billionaire who ever lived, Jeff Bezos, secretly got it that way. That's how he can charge only
hell.
$55 for Anthem.
We're all getting buried naked, apparently.
This reminds me, Adam, speaking of which, that ranch that you've got set up with all the carnival rides in it, it's pretty
Yeah.
uncool, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, is there a Michael Jackson documentary coming out?
There's an HBO one.
Yeah, right. Someone was talking to me about that the other day.
It's kids who are like, we got molested by.
Right.
But
It's called This Ain't It.
I watched the trailer. It looks interesting, and they had it at Sundance, and probably understandably, the Jackson estate not thrilled, and then
You'd think the Jackson estate would maybe not be thrilled about Michael doing it
Yeah.
instead. Like,
Yeah.
I reckon
hey,
that
don't
would-
shoot the messenger. But then the director of the doco is like, no, I mean, it's not really a doco about Michael doing these things. It's about how people remember things and all that. And then it's like, you watch the trailer and it's like, wow, that is some very, very nice reframing that you've done to try and get yourself off the hook there, boys. It's like kids into the camera going like, yeah, this happened. It's like,
but they're adults now.
Yeah, they're adults now.
Right.
But it's like them trying to frame it. No, it's a comment on society. It's like, I mean, that's probably true in a very broad sense that everything specific is also about.
Well, you can't
stuff in
defame
broader
the
context,
dead, right?
but
Can his estate sue anyone?
they can try. They can try to get a what is it, injunction or whatever.
Yeah.
Injunction.
I'm sure they've looked into it, but not been able to do it.
Well, also you can't defame someone if what you're saying's true.
Yeah,
So-
that's literally a defense
Yeah.
for defamation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he didn't do it, stick up for yourself.
Thus concludes my review of Metro Exodus.
It's great that we went off topic twice. You don't have to use that joke
yeah,
twice.
I know.
Yeah, okay. It sounds tedious was the word that was the most.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And in stark contrast to Far Cry New Dawn, which also I will say is produced much more professionally. So like Metro, it feels kind of like low budget.
Like, I suppose it probably it's a
It
smaller
probably is.
studio.
It probably is. Like the cutscenes, obviously the quality of the writing, it's all lower, and it feels that way because maybe they didn't have as much money, whereas
Right.
Far Cry is the opposite. Like it starts with a very well cut little sort of montage transitioning from the present day of Far Cry 5, or was it just called Far Cry 5, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To it's like a dozen years later after the apocalypse.
Right.
It's told by a character who ends up becoming your first companion character.
And they're all like
which is
fake Mad Max kind of looking characters, right?
not all of them. Like the bad guys are, and then there's just normal good guys who look like they live in the forest.
Okay.
And you kind of you're told this story of like this guy he's come down the coast and he's like helped everyone out. He's helped this town, and we want him to come and help us. But whoopsie, the bad guys got involved and he's gone, and now it's just you who was like you're his like second in command. And so this character who's telling this story ends up literally telling it to you, taking you to their home, and you gotta like protect their home and fight the bad guys. And it is like the bad guys are all like pink painted bike BMX helmets and guns and stuff.
Right.
Wait, the bad guys have guns in a Far Cry game? What the fuck?
Well, you know the only way to fight someone with a gun is to have a bigger gun. That's my opinion on guns.
That's cool as hell.
But yeah, like just the way it's produced, the way it's presented, it's all extremely slick. It's fun and engaging. You feel like you're playing a good game, basically.
Do you feel like you're playing... If I got bored of Far Cry 5 before the end of it, is this game something I need to bother with?
No, but if you really have loved every Far Cry game, you'll love this game.
Because it's the same map again, right?
Well,
But with like altered.
I guess so. I haven't played
It's
heaps of it
DLC?
yet. No, it's
Oh, really?
It's like a lower price new game,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Same as Primal.
exactly,
okay, right.
exactly. But you start. It's more like you start off with like a fucking tree stump as a close combat weapon, and then you like
What's
make
with you
it-
and tree stumps today? Did you look at a tree stump earlier?
I mean, last night I may have been fucking a tree stump. But you like
a
build-
threesome.
You,
I'm committing from now on.
why don't you make like a tree and fuck my ass?
You can say root as well.
God.
This is sort of an unintentional comedy masterclass that we've put on in this. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more like you fucking cobble together like a saw, like a circular saw launcher.
Right.
You end up finding guns pretty early on though. But it is. It's more like people have built barricades over where there used to be a train station and shit like that.
Apocalypse shit.
Yeah. But like nice apocalypse where plants have taken over, there's flowers everywhere. Like that sort of scenario. It's not desert, it's not wasteland at all.
Right.
People picking up after themselves in this apocalypse? Like, is there just random fucking metal on the ground in the cities?
There's a lot of shit around.
Why do people keep fucking doing that with apocalypse things? As though people...
It's just messy.
Yeah, like they
Yeah.
forgot that brooms can be made.
Yeah.
You know, or just like fucking kick the dirt away.
Although actually, so yeah, I've just got to basically like home base, and it is a beautiful, like big hardwood floors, ranch style home with lovely furniture. That's actually all kept up pretty well.
Right.
But yeah, the surrounds, the abandoned sort of areas are just kind of, there's just shit everywhere.
Well, and if it's like a war-torn area, I get that. But like in the actual cities where people are living, that really bothered me in Fallout, where it was just like, why? There's a big fucking corrugated iron panel there that's all rusted, and it's at the front of your fucking house. Pick it up and move it, dickhead.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be so furious going to fucking Megaton or whatever, being like, this place is filthy.
That's why I blew it up. Just go blow up Megaton.
Actually, yeah, I guess that is kind of what... Oh, shit.
Oh,
I'm a
man.
villain.
But I'm loving it. Like, the dialogue is so well written. Like, it really stands out now as like, oh, this is a professional game. Even 5, like, yeah, there were criticisms with 5, but on the whole, it was well written and very atmospheric, and the characters were kind of like almost average movie level characters.
I hated the way it would keep yanking you out of what you were doing.
You did
to
hate
do their
that.
story stuff. That really bothered me.
I liked it because it's
Yeah.
like, well, I'm going to play story missions at some point.
Yeah. I think just because you were always in the middle of something.
Yes.
And
yeah.
that bothered me.
You find it hard to change streams.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If I'm doing stuff, especially in open world games, I've got sort of like, well, then I'll go here and then I'll go here.
Right.
Unless it's Crackdown, in which case I'll go to bed.
Yes.
Instead of playing this fucking game.
But yeah, I'm really liking New Dawn so far.
Cool.
I, as a big fan of the series, I can gladly recommend it to anyone else who has liked the other ones.
Yeah. It seems like that's what Far Cry's happy to do at this point, is be for people who like Far Cry, never reinvent the wheel.
Yep.
But just lots of different scenarios.
It just works. Like, the gameplay is fun. The guns are noticeably better than Metro Exodus.
Right.
Just like jumping around and having the like automatic jump over ledge, and like it's just a bunch of stuff that they've done 3 games in a row now, but they do it really well.
It's heaps. It's like 3 Blood Dragon, 4 Primal,
That's
5. How long ago was 5?
Last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was it was the start of Comedy Festival last year. It's coming up on a
That's
year.
so soon for this to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And it had all those DLC packs as well.
Yeah,
that arcade
yeah.
mode and
There's
shit.
so much Far Cry. Like it's too much for me.
The interface is also a little different. It's more like scribbled, like it's a little more homey, a little more, homemade.
They've changed the font, Thomas.
Font matters a lot
I'm
to me. I'm a big font man.
It is one of those franchises where it's like, if you're into it, like you're saying, it's great. You'll just
Yeah.
get. It's like,
Yeah.
I wish that the stuff that I really liked was just churning it out for me as often as that is. Do you know what I mean?
I guess it's totally it's in my wheelhouse. It is like rural, beautiful forest scenario, reasonable dialogue, fun sort of missions, first person shooter open world game. It's basically for me.
It's a shame that our apocalypse won't have all like the beautiful nature reclaiming the planet stuff.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Look, all our nature's going.
Nature reclaiming is a good take on apocalypse stuff. I like any time there's a thing where it's like a very tropey, something that's become very formulaic in pop culture, and the people doing it kind of sit down and go, I mean, what can we do to differentiate this and not just have the exact same? That's why I think that Cyberpunk game looks so cool, because it's like, hey, there can be pinks, there can be baby blues in this scenario.
Yeah.
Someone walks into like the pitch meeting for Cyberpunk 2077. Has like one of those easels, the advertising easels,
Yes.
flips it round, bright yellow. It's just a bright yellow panel, and they're
Yep.
like, lots of this. What do you reckon? And everyone goes, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Can you
Yeah.
elaborate?
Oh, it's also the most complicated game ever made. All right, see you later, everyone. They jump out
Why
the
don't
window.
you say more about that and more about the color? Because it's honestly, I don't really get what's going on here.
Yeah.
If you don't accept it, I walk. Worst pitch. All right, so Far Cry doesn't sound like... Well, it sounds like it's not for me, but that's okay.
Very big of you.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Yeah, Ben, you forgot to give the traditional "Is this for Adam?" bit that you and I meant to put on the end of all our reviews.
I think it's an interesting pair of games. I can see how people would love Metro Exodus. It's like, oh, it's really complicated, difficult, and you've got to like always be aware of all these systems, and it's really realistic. It's what it would be like to be in Moscow, in the apocalypse. And for me, it's just like it's kind of too dull and dreary. And I'm loving this other one, which people could very easily say it's formulaic and it's the same as every other Far Cry game. But that's just my take.
That is kind of cool that there's those two options of basically two different takes on the same thing.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
I last week.
Oh, and I played NBA 19.
Well, I actually
Ben's secret corner.
last week my secret game was that I played through Devil May Cry for the first time.
Are we having a secret game every week?
Yeah,
the
not
original.
bad.
Well, because I was sick, I was like, oh fuck, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
And I played. It was only like about 6 or 7 hours long.
Right.
But the fifth one's coming out soon, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll try.
So where is this in this series? Devil May Cry?
The first one.
Okay, and is that before the rest or after the rest?
The way it came out is it goes 1, then 2 came out.
Yes.
Then there was 3.
Wait, which one did you play against?
I played 1.
Okay.
So that's before 2, and then 3, and then 4 came out. And then actually DMC, like a reboot, came out.
That is what I was confused.
Okay,
Yeah,
I've
right.
been going back and forth between, this is a funny bit. Oh, no, this is a genuine question. This is like the Fast and the Furious movies where they've fucked around with the timeline.
This isn't the DMC one. This is the original one that came out on like the PS2 in like 2001. And there's an HD remaster pack thing you can buy.
Tokyo Drift.
Right. Which gives you Devil May Cry 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
And man, it's disappointing if you wanted to watch Tokyo Drift, which I did.
Yeah.
But Devil May Cry 1 is like, it's old as shit.
Yeah,
it's 18 years old.
That's why I kind of, I was surprised you played it.
Yeah, it's old enough to drink in this country and drive. Separate times, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, you're a bloody idiot.
That's what I reckon.
I came up with that.
Drink, drive, bloody idiot.
Yeah.
It's funny to have an ad that sounds like it's written by the person it's talking about. So it's made me look forward to 5. It's clunky in some ways. Like, it's strange where it's got fixed cameras like Resident Evil, but it's all 3D backgrounds.
Right.
So they all move, and you could hypothetically move the camera. There's no reason not to, but it's just old enough that you don't.
Right.
And you kind of, it's one of those action-y combat games in the style of Bayonetta or whatever, but like a proto version of that.
Yeah.
Where you're locking onto stuff, you're shooting your guns real cool, you're swiping your sword, there's a bunch of bosses, it gets really fucking tough at points. But in a way that I found super satisfying, that it was a challenge that sort of old-fashioned style of learn the boss's pattern and exploit when you can.
Yeah.
But
That's how you move up in business as well.
totally.
Yeah.
Learn the boss's pattern.
And exploit where you can.
As long as you're there before the boss does his first attack.
Yes.
And then you don't leave until after the boss does his last attack of the day.
Yeah.
Then
And-
you're going to win.
And always look him in the eye.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Really?
Yeah.
If you walk around in front of your boss all day just
Yeah.
staring at them in the face,
Yeah.
walking backwards, tripping over shit, but never breaking eye contact.
That's a great boss in a video game. You just defeat them by making eye contact. That's sick.
Ironically, something most gamers don't do.
Yeah. It's one of my weaknesses.
So yeah, it's that sort of style of action game.
Is it as cinematic and crazy as those sort of Bayonetta-y?
Yeah, kind
Right.
of. And it feels like I mean, I don't know the exact history of it, but it's got a real focus on like stylishness. Because like you get these little rankings as you do more attacks. Like it goes from like E to A. So like excellent, damn, cool, badass, awesome, and then S, the top one, S, which is like shit, yeah.
Okay.
And so you go, and you're meant to kind of be cool and doing flips and stuff
Right.
while you're doing it, and it's really fun.
Is it the same guy that does Bayonetta? Or one of the guys that works on it?
I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some. So it was originally going to be a Resident Evil game.
Right.
And then
Huh,
at some
okay.
point they transitioned it to be like, this isn't anything like Resident Evil. We've created something else here, but it's cool, so let's
Yeah.
make it its own thing. You're kind of going through this castle and you've just like you're a like devil shooting mercenary guy. You
Like
run
a Van Helsing.
I don't know. Is that what he is?
Yeah, he's a Dracula hunter.
Well, does he have his feet on the desk at the start and answer the phone and be like, Devil May Cry? Your business is called Devil May Cry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and you're the son of an old devil who turned against the devils. The story's fucking stupid. And
Okay.
it's really poorly acted and stuff.
It sounds fun though.
In a really campy, fun way. And it I think it's a bit frustrating now to go back to the old. You really have to adjust to being in the mindset of like, this game is from the turn of the century.
Right.
Because there are little bits and pieces where the controls and stuff can be a kind of a hassle at times. But I found the actual sort of basics of it, and it's like all segmented into these little chapters that you go through, and they're your only save points. So if you die, and each one is never more than maybe 20 minutes long at the longest.
Okay.
But if you die, you're going back to the start of that.
Right.
All old-fashioned stuff
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
they just kind of hadn't thought about yet.
Yeah, it is the same guy. He
Right.
made,
Right.
He made Bayonetta. He also made worked on Beautiful Joe.
Oh,
Did you
yes.
play that game?
No.
Yeah, that game's cool.
I'd never played it either. It's
really
If
good.
you didn't bring it up again.
I'm very
That game
sorry.
Actually, that game killed my father.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it killed you. How'd that happen?
he swallowed the disc. Because he thought it'd be more satisfying
You
than
should
playing
stop
Crackdown
telling
3.
people to do that.
It was only a GameCube disc as well, so we thought it'd go down his throat.
Yeah.
They've got a little hole in the middle. He should have been fine. I think he just
Yeah.
ran away. But the
He
game
faked his death. He told his son that he was dead and that he'd done it by swallowing a video
Yeah.
game disc. He's just living in Cuba.
He didn't like hold it up to you and be like, "Oh, better eat this," and then turn his back
yeah.
and then go, "Whoop."
well, no,
and
he
then
sort of
turn back
turned to
and
the
go like, "Oh, I
side.
think I'm dying."
I don't want you to see this, son.
Bastard still has my nose as well. The game is still very fun, though, I think. If you're good at going back to older games, it's worth it. If not, I reckon there's probably nothing in the story of, like, it's a dumber story.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And it's very Japanese in a cool way where, like, you fight a god at the end and all that stuff where, like, I really had a good time with it.
Nice.
I'm gonna hopefully have time to play the others, but I'll probably just jump straight to 5 when that comes out.
Yep.
It's made me look forward to that a fair bit.
Nice.
Devil May Cry.
Yeah, do you find out whether the devil cries or not?
He does cry. There's actually a really fucking lame line at the end where, like, the sort of half antagonist, half friend woman.
I wish we had a word for that.
Oh, it's back.
The fantagonist.
Oh no.
Again, even knowing it was coming.
She says something at the end where she's like, "Oh, I shouldn't be crying," because she's like, "Oh, we won." And he's like, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's something like, tears are a gift that humans get because devils can't cry. Something like that.
Oh.
That when she, like, dies but doesn't actually die, he's like holding her body and he yells because she's, like, kind of evil and he wanted to save her, and he like yells out this fucking awful line of, like, "I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light." That's one of those things where there's clearly, like, in Japanese, this is 4 syllables.
Yeah.
In English, we have to cram 903 into this little squeezing period of time. But yeah, I like, it's tough and it might be off-putting in its age, but I think it's still enjoyable if you're interested in this series.
That's my new Tinder bio.
Yeah. I was racing to get there.
Yes.
I was racing to get there.
I got one.
What were you going to say, Tommy, before I interrupted you with a full review of the game?
That you snuck in as just a quick thought. Just very quickly, let me just do this for 20 minutes. No, there's not much to say on it, but what was it, 2 weeks ago now, I went out to Nintendo to have a hands-on with Yoshi's Crafted World. Now,
This is where Yoshi brews his own micro beer, right?
yeah, he's working on a little IPA.
Lapping it all up like bang, bang.
Yeah. I went out there. It was midweek. You guys both had work, and I could bring someone with me. And I thought, who could I couldn't really think of anyone who A, would be free, and B, would give a flying fuck about playing a Yoshi game.
Yes.
So I thought, for something a bit different, to make it a bit more of an interesting review, rather than me just jacking my little dick over how much I love it because it's a
Yes.
Yoshi game, I brought along my 72-year-old father who's never played a video game in his life.
Yes.
And so he came along. I also thought it'd be interesting for him to, because he knows that this is popular and that we do shows that people come to and stuff. But I don't think he quite understands any of what it's about.
Right. Okay.
He has an easier time understanding my other podcast, which is absolutely not to his tastes at all. And I think that he thinks he's a vile abomination, which is not unfair, I have to say.
I think that even the people who like it kind of think that.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. But so, I went out there with him. We had two representatives from Nintendo kind of talking us through the game. And so one of them who listens to this, so that was cool.
Yep.
Shout out to him. Thank you for your patience with my father when he was at one point just asking them both questions about Japan. And it's like,
Okay.
Dad, this is just these weren't Japanese people, by the way. This is this is the Australian leg of a Japanese company.
It's like going to a Toyota dealership.
Yeah.
You're like, what's Okinawa like?
Yeah.
Genuinely, that's what he was doing. It's like he thought he had some kind of direct line through the government of Japan. He's asking, he's like, what are they getting at when they do this? And they're like, we don't know.
We live in like
Scoresby.
Scoresby. Yeah. They're like, this is a little above our station. But yeah, we played the game and it was a bit weird. So the direct happened the day after I went and did this.
Yes.
Where they showed off a lot of stuff that I had played and was under embargo.
Which was before we recorded last week's episode. Because that's what
Yeah.
last week's episode was about.
Yeah, but then the demo went up as well, where you
Yes.
play a level that we played in the thing. And so I said, surely the embargo doesn't count anymore now that this stuff is just out in the public domain anyway. And they went, no, it absolutely still counts.
This has come down from the Emperor who we have direct contact
Yes.
with.
You
So.
cannot tell anyone what Tokyo's like.
Yeah, if you reveal any of this stuff that's under embargo, you'll be sacrificed to the blade. So yeah, it was.
Which is where we make you swallow the DVD of Blade. And that Snipes movie kills you.
Wesley
Snipes?
It is Wesley Snipes. Yeah, I really enjoyed the game. I think it's
Big surprise.
the
Tommy
Stones.
likes a Nintendo
The
game.
Stones. Yeah, it's fun. It's the little mechanic of you get to the end of a level and then the camera flips around and then you walk back the other way through the level so you can see like how all the crafted stuff is made. And then there's different pathways and there's stuff hidden. So it's kind of a cool little device that's a bit more unique than stuff they typically do with these games.
With that first thing you've said, what the fuck does it mean? Where the camera flips around and you see how it's all made. What do you mean?
Like you're looking at a 2D plane, you get to the end, and then you flips around and see the back.
But so does it have like fake sticky tape and stuff?
So yeah, because it's all craft aesthetic. So it's like the front, from the front bit, it's like set up, painted like a house.
Right.
But then the back, you can see, it's just a cardboard box, and they haven't painted the back. It's like a cornflakes box.
That is cool.
So there's lots of
I
fake
like
brands
that.
and stuff, and you sort of see like, they didn't bother to. Whoever made this little diorama didn't bother to like fill in the back. So it's not it doesn't seem like a platformer where the focus is on, intense, platforming and making gaps and stuff like that. It's more about, there's stuff kind of hidden in all these little areas, and so you're spending your time mostly kind of hunting them down.
Right.
Because you can shoot eggs and you can shoot in the foreground and background as well. So a lot of it is like, that thing looks like it'd knock over, and hitting it with an egg, and then there being a thing hidden in that. Played a bit of co-op with my dad. My dad made the great comment where when you have two people, one of you can hop on the other one's back, and then one does movement, and then the one who's on the back does the shooting. So Dad was in charge of the shooting, which really put him off because he said, and I quote, "It's violence like this that probably inspired Tony Mockbell to do the things that he did."
That is a very strange take. We fed 200 video game news articles into this chatbot, and it came back with this.
Just absolutely paying off. I'm like, yep, this is why I brought him, because otherwise it would just be me going, yeah, it's Yoshi and it's fine.
Do you know, I don't know if last week I genuinely went to Tony Mockbell's doctor.
Tony Dockbell.
Tony Dockbell. He like
That's his doctor's name.
yeah. That's why they ended up. He tried to Google himself. Was a little bit under the weather. Accidentally misspelled and went. Oh, okay. I guess this is the doctor for me.
How did you know? Was this just like a like an Italian restaurant, like a signed headshot of him out the front of the waiting room?
Caricature of him with a cold. No, like
Sticking a thermometer up his ass.
the lady in the reception. This is just like the doctor. It's like a nearby doctor. I was sick. I went to there to just like get a medical certificate, and in the reception bit, I was waiting, and it was like the reception lady and these like 3 old Greek women that were having a conversation about like, oh, terrible what happened to Tony because he'd gotten stabbed in prison the day before.
Yeah.
They were like, and in the neck too.
Ooh.
And they all knew him.
Fuck.
I probably shouldn't
Wow.
be saying this because...
Well, you haven't revealed where the doctor is, so...
it's a 180,000
Yes.
Mockbell Street
Mockbellville.
prison town.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that was crazy.
I'm
Didn't know what to do with me, the doctor. He was like, you haven't been stabbed. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, you got a gunshot wound. I need to patch up here. What's
What did
going
you
on?
eat? Too much fazool?
Now that's racist.
No, it isn't. Fazool can be eaten by anybody.
That's fair.
I guess
that's
know
pretty
if-
fair. He's got us there, Ben.
yeah. Anyone
Yeah.
can eat fazool. Whatever the fuck that is.
But yeah, in the same way that
It's another word that PewDiePie said.
the Kirby game that came out at the start of last year, a real breeze, but had a fun time doing it. Very charming. This looks like basically the same thing. I've got a world exclusive here. I recorded my dad giving a little his thoughts on the game.
Yes.
Wow.
Would you guys care to hear this?
As long as it's not you holding your phone up to the microphone and seeing if that will play loud enough for it to be recorded.
It will play loud enough to be recorded.
Yeah, we've
No,
done-
I'm saying that's not what we're doing here. We
Ah, yes.
professionally edited it in.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's not the method of delivery.
Yeah.
that is
Well,
being
I'm
used.
getting on my laptop and I'm emailing you the file now.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And
I'll
then
make
you
sure
can
to
drop this in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll splice it in for sure.
Okay.
Because we record these in a radio studio, so we can obviously we can
Yes.
do
Yeah.
stuff like that. Quite
I'll just
easily.
ask our tech, Eddie. Hey, Eddie. I don't know why I have to shout to him. He's got.
Yeah, he's on the
headphones.
cans. Yeah.
All right, Eddie, let us have it.
All right, Dad, so we're just out the front of Nintendo. So what did you think of the game that you just played?
Oh, I think it's quite incredible, the technology of it and the activity that goes on and the challenges presented.
What did you think of the aesthetic, the whole cardboard look and the flipping around the level?
I think that all worked very well. It's purposely not looking like reality, which is very effectively done.
And what was the main character's name?
Oh, I forgot.
And would this inspire you to buy... Would you buy a Switch for this game? Would you buy a Nintendo to play this game?
Oh, yes, possibly I would.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
result.
You heard it here first, folks.
Oh.
My dad going in on a console for the first time at the age of 72.
There's no way he meant that.
No, it's so
Also,
polite.
how come your dad sounds like every witness they interview on the news? Yeah, well, the car careened off of the street about 6:30 a.m. right into our living room, and
He did, as we were playing it, he goes, I think if I had to look at this for too long, I'd go mad.
Where was that in the review?
I like he said this many times as well. He was like, first of all, he wasn't saying anything specific about the game. He's like, God, the technology is impressive,
Yes,
isn't it? It's
yeah.
like, I mean, that's true of lots of things,
yeah,
Dad.
the concept of a video game is crazy.
Yes.
to me.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and that was his big compliment to them in the room. He's like, it's just great how purposefully this isn't trying to look like reality.
That's such an interesting perspective.
100%.
Like, cubism. It's great how they don't try and make it realistic. Picasso, you've done a great job.
It's great how that fridge that I have has in no way tried to be a kettle. You got to hand it to them, boys.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks to Nintendo for getting us out there. Thanks to the patience of those two representatives for putting up with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well
Shout
done,
out.
Nintendo, on on the deliberate not looking like reality, and on those robot toilets.
Yes.
They're great as well.
Yeah, the
Nintendo's
bidet.
Yeah, bidet to you too.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, boys, we got to wrap it up
Yes,
for
we
another
do.
week. Anthem this weekend. We're all going to have a crack at that. See you at the live show if you come into that. We're doing
yeah.
stand up. Chimp Copper doing some stuff. We're gonna fuck around and do a live version of this.
Yes.
Yeah. What else is there to say? Filthycasuals.com.au for the social media links and the Patreon and all that kind of stuff.
That's
our
it.
premium episodes as well.
Sign up for the Patreon to hear what we're about to record directly after this.
Yep. Guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time, as we say here at the end of every episode of Filthy Casuals.
I think it's fantastic how that podcast doesn't try to sound like reality. I think that's just a very interesting choice. The technology's incredible to be able to record a voice. Don't even need a gramophone.